Hello, everybody. Jennifer here with Canvas Sign Design. So, welcome to Hand Lettering Happy Hour. How are you guys doing today? It is Wednesday. I'm in Texas. It is rainy and just humid and not crazy hot, which is wonderful. It is just a gloomy, rainy day here. So I feel like that's been the story forever. It's been such a rainy year. So let me know how the weather is where you are. Today, I thought it would be fun. One of my daughters has a birthday on July 3rd. And so I thought it would be fun to I need to make her a birthday card. So I thought it would be fun to bring you along with me and show you how I make her a card. Well, it just so happens that in the Happy Lettering Club last week, we created this template here because we are going to be making a birthday banner on craft paper next week in our group. But I created this template and I thought I could just use this template here. And if you are in the Happy Lettering Club or you subscribe to the template library, this is going to be uploaded in the template library for you guys, just as this size. And I'll probably make it into a 5x7 card size for anybody that wants to create a card. So that is going to be coming up. I'm getting a low internet signal right now, which is not fun. But I thought it might be fun to just kind of play off of this and create a card with this sort of template. So I won't be tracing it on, but I'm going to be using this as my design. So as you're coming in, say hello. Hey, Heidi. Hey, Heather. Hey, Deb. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Marilyn. Heather, how are you? I'm so sorry about your boss. Lisa is watching from the beach. How awesome. Just send us all the good beach vibes here, Lisa. I need some good beach vibes here. Okay. So what I'm going to do, let me just kind of pull my camera out just a little bit so that you can see everything that I'm going to be doing. And then we'll get started. So my oldest daughter, she has July 3rd, and she lives in Spain. And so we have to package up her stuff and send it to her a couple of weeks ahead of time so that it will get there in time. So I'm making her like a little birthday care package. And so I'm going to put a card in it here. Hey, Michelle, you love that I'm doing a birthday thing since Saturday is your birthday. Oh my goodness. Happy birthday, Michelle. Happy early birthday. Oh, awesome. Yep. This is just for you. Hey, Candy. Hey, Marisa. Yeah. So I'm just taking the template that we made the other night in the group. And I thought, well, I'll just use this as the front of the birthday card. And then that just kind of helps you guys see yet another purpose for this template. Besides using it on the banner. So what I'm going to do is I've been itching to do some watercolor too. So I'm going to make this a watercolor card. I'm using this watercolor paper. I just get this at Walmart. This is probably my favorite. This pad of watercolor paper is about $5 at Walmart. So it's kind of a good value, I think. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to kind of hold it like this and I'm just going to pinch it right here. And then I have this Cricut paper cutter here, which by the way, I need to get a new blade for this thing. And I looked at Walmart and I did not find a blade for it. Did I look at Walmart? Maybe I looked at Michael's. Let me just Another use for the pink pokey thing, if anybody has this, I use it to clean this out. Because, you know, paper gets in there. You get stuck in that little groove, and I use it to clear it all out. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to cut this card, but I'm going to take where this crease is and I'm going to line it up to this little line here. And then I'm going to take this little scoring tool. This came with like my graphite paper when I ordered it on Amazon, but you can get these little embossing tools anywhere. But I'm going to take this. I'm going to set it in that groove. Oh, come on. Don't you mess up on me. Make sure it doesn't slide around. I'm just going to run this across. And it's just going to score. It's going to score that card. Do you see that? The lights are so bright that it's hard to see, but it scores it so that you can fold it easy because the watercolor paper is really thick. And so sometimes it's hard to fold it. So look how easy that was. And it folded in a nice, clean little line. So, hey, Miss Chris, how are you? And so now I have a cute little birthday card. So we'll use this design on here. I'm going to show you how to kind of bring it to life with some watercolors. So what I'm going to use is not traditional watercolors, though. I'm just going to be using my Tombow dual brush pens. So I'm going to pick out some colors that I think are going to be good for her. So let's do these two. Maybe some yellow for the flame. I might have to do maybe a little bit of orange here. Let's see, what else could I do? Maybe, and I can kind of just grab things as I go, but I'm just trying to kind of show y'all what I will be using. Maybe that color, maybe some of those. So I'm going to get my paint palette here, and this is what I'm going to be like marking on. Let me see if I can just make my face a little bit smaller so that you guys can see a little bit better. Where did that option go? Oh, I'm already on there. Never mind. I'm already on the option that I was going to go. Marilyn said she saw someone use a ruler and a stylus to score paper. Oh, that's a good idea too. Yeah, just put a ruler and then use this just across the ruler. Yeah, you could totally do that too. I like that just because I have it. I just tried it one day and I was like, oh, this works really great. So yeah, but yeah, if you don't have one of those paper cutters, a stylus would be good too. Okay, so let's see if we can, let me get everything going. Let's put this stuff over here and this over here for you guys. That way you can see everything. There we go. Okay. So this is what I'm kind of going for. This is my card. So I'm just going to kind of put that over there though, so that it's not taking up too much. And I'm going to start with my candles. And so let's just go. I'm just going to take this dual brush pen here and scribble it on this paper. And then take my water pen here. I'm going to drop some water on here. And this just makes really good watercolor. So I'm just going to do my candles here along the bottom. And I'm thinking I'm going to have a couple of these, a couple of things going here, because I'm going to rotate candle colors. So then let's go to, thankfully I have a few several pins so I can kind of rotate between pins. If not, you could dry them off in between colors, or you could even just kind of mark the bottom where you want your candles to go so that you could you know, do all the blue first, and then you could do all the pink first. That would be a good way to do it. I didn't have it that well thought out though. So we're just going to rotate. So there's pink, and let's do a little bit of orange here. Waiting for this water to drop. If you don't have water brush pens, you should. No, they just make it a lot easier. But you can also use a paintbrush. You don't have to use these. These are just a little quicker. Sometimes I get a little antsy-nancy when I'm doing things. I want to just do that part fast. I'm going to try to make these like some different sizes just so they all look just, you know, a little bit different. They're not all just the same. So let's do some green. Hey, Donna, how are you? Hey, Brenda, you are okay. You were never late around here, girl. Hey, Roxy. Hey, Christina. You'll have to watch the replay later. Yes, ma'am, do it. It'll be on YouTube too if you can't find it on Facebook. If y'all don't follow me on YouTube, you can watch these weekly lives. I know Facebook has been deleting them, but I have been doing them live over on YouTube. So you can watch them there. And sometimes that's better because then you can pull up the big screen and watch them watch them on the big screen. I think that I'm going to, do y'all like seeing me what I'm doing over here and here and having the camera a little farther away, or would you like the camera just close up on the card part? Y'all tell me in the chat what you would prefer. Because sometimes I feel like, oh, it would be better if y'all could see close up. But then I also think sometimes it's better for you to be able to see what I'm doing over here. So I'm always curious what works best for you guys. And I'm going to outline all these candles whenever I'm done. So Marisa said both is better. Deb says it's fine like this. Yes, please, for us newbies. Okay, good. I figured it would be better like this, but you know, it's always nice to see what somebody's doing, like all the steps, you know, like what paints they're using and how they're dipping their brush in the paint and, you know, all of the things. I don't know. I like seeing all that. My phone is just going off like crazy. Let me put this on Do Not Disturb. I'm getting all kinds of notifications over here. Okay, so we're just lining the bottom with these watercolor candles here across the bottom. I think this is looking nice. Do orange. Since that orange is so tall, I'm going to make this one just a little smaller. Again, just trying to make these very like random. And then we'll go back in the end and take a kind of a fine tip, like black pen and just kind of do some details. And to me, that's like the fun part. It just brings it all together. I just love watercolor. and exploring with watercolor. I am not a watercolor expert by any means. I'm not even close. I am still learning myself. But it is something I think anybody can do. Let's see. Let's go with blue. And I especially like using these Tombow dual brush pens because you can kind of pick them up and take them anywhere with you. You don't have to feel like you have like this palette of like watercolors. And I like the colors that it gives. Like it gives me a lighter, less pigmented color, which is what I kind of like. So let's make this blue one just a little darker so it matches the other two blues. Just gonna go back over it again. Okay, just like that. So that's our candles. Hi, Carol. Happy Wednesday to you. Okay, so here's what we got so far. We have candles lining the bottom. And again, we're just kind of, I'm going to follow somewhat of this template here. I think I'm going to dry these so that when I do the flame, they don't mix in with the candle. Because if this is still wet on the candle and I go to do the flame, and if it touches it, the colors will mix. Hey, Juanita. Yeah, it is a good idea. And you know what? I got this idea in the group because somebody posted that they created the same template on Procreate, like, you know, with the class that I did the other night. And she said she just printed it out and gave it to her friend. And I was like, that is a genius idea. And so I thought, you know what? I need to make a card for Ashton. So I am going to do that. Okay, I'm going to use yellow here, and I might steal some of that orange for our little flame here. And I always forget to get a little paper towel. Hang on one sec. Okay, I like to kind of keep one of these handy and just kind of clean off my brush a little bit. So I just squeeze out some water and rub it on a paper towel, and it kind of just cleans it off so that I can reuse it for something else. And I'm going to use this one because it's a little bit smaller since I'm going to be doing this, the tip of this candle flame. I'm just going to do kind of like a little raindrop. And if you can kind of see, that is the shape that I'm going for here. And then we'll just fill that in. You could add a little bit of orange to it. I think I'm going to leave it yellow because I like the color that it's giving. And I feel like this is a lot easier to make this little flame with paintbrush than it was in Procreate with that Apple Pencil, because the brush just naturally kind of bends and kind of allows you to make that rounded shape a little more naturally. And go for all of these. And I'm leaving a little bit of a gap between the candle and the flame because I want to go ahead and add like a little black line right here, kind of how we did when I was creating the template in the group last week. So if you did something like this on watercolor paper, it would be good practice for your banner if you want to do the banner. But if you don't want to do the banner, try it out on just like some watercolor paper or in your sketchbook with markers, or in your journal. You could do it in your journal also, because if you have the mixed media journal in the group, you can do watercolors with that. So it's It's kind of cool how you can make so many different things out of one template. So we created the template in Procreate, this same little template. And then, so there's one place that you can use it in Procreate. And then we're going to make a banner with it. So that's 2. Now I'm making a watercolor card with it. That's 3. One of our members printed it out and gave it as a birthday card. That's 4. This is 4 different ways that you can use a design that we created, which is, I think, pretty cool. Hey, Colleen, how are you? Welcome. I am using watercolor paper, Juanita. Yes, I'm using the Cason watercolor paper. This right here. And I just folded it in half here, and then we're taking this design and just kind of recreating it on a card. So there's my little candles so far. So now I'm going to do the banner, and here's where my paper creases right here. So I'm just going to put this here for reference. So I think for these lines here, I'm going to want to use one of those micron, like little skinny micron pens. But until I do that, I need to have an idea of where those lines are so that I know where to put these little banners. So I'm just going to go ahead and just draw them with a pencil, kind of lightly there. And then I can add all these like extra ones later. But just so I have something to kind of keep track of where to put those little banners there. So just very light on the pencil. Right there. I want to fix this real quick because you see where it had a lot of water there, so you can kind of see these lines. So I'm just going to kind of like take my brush and try to smooth that out just a little bit. Maybe I'll add some color down here because I don't really like how that was standing out. I think this water brush pen tends to leak a lot of water. Okay, it's a little bit better. It's not perfect still, but okay. So now we're going to do banners, and I'm going to do the banners, I think the same color as these. I think I might rotate. I don't know. I was thinking about rotating blue and pink, but maybe I should just use them all. I'm going to start here and just do like a little triangle. Here, and let's go. And you could pencil these out first if this just kind of made you a little bit nervous, but I do think that that's the fun of watercolors, is that they're very like imperfect. I kind of like my watercolors to look that way. Let's see, I'm going to get a different one. Yes, Heather, I have been praying for you guys. I'm so sorry. Oh no, she's been hateful. She's probably just taking it out on you. Ugh, that's hard when you have to like just bite your tongue and you know like somebody's going through something, so you're trying to give them grace, but it's hard to be on the backside of that and being, you know, taking the brunt of all of it. That's really hard. Hey, Liz. I was gonna say Elizabeth. But then I remembered to go by Liz. So, hey, Liz. That's how it came out. Let's go with a little bit of orange. It's kind of hard because I can't see. I should have started here because I can't see these. To make sure that I keep them there somewhat the same. Heather, I know that's got to be just an awful working environment right now. Will they get somebody to take her place? What happens when? I guess it just depends on your company that you work for and how it's structured. Let's see, that's orange and then green. Okay, and go here. And I kind of make the tips of my little banner just a tiny bit rounded instead of super pointy. But making them super pointy would probably be a little bit easier. Okay, we're going to do blue now. Okay, note to self, if you're doing this, start on the left-hand side and go if you're right-handed. Because it's very difficult to kind of look at these while you're making this one and keeping them straight. Okay, there's that. Now let's go pink right here. I just thought about this, but as I was making this banner in Procreate for y'all, I should have made a stamp for the little banners. Should have made a little stamp for the candles and for the banners. That would have been, I didn't even think about that until just now. Oh yeah. Sometimes the job of just answering the phones and doing the simple stuff is so much easier, so much less responsibility. I do not blame you, Heather. Okay, there's that. We're gonna do a green one. This green is not real dark. So when you're picking your colors, if you're using the dual brush pens, the Tombow dual brush pens, just know that whatever color you choose is going to be lighter than what it looks like. I'm just trying to think. I kind of don't want to do blue here, but I think I'm just going to because I think it might look weird with pink. And you could make little designs on the little banners if you wanted to. I'm going to kind of keep it a little bit simple. So there's that. I want to just darker line on that one there. Okay. So that wasn't bad. You know, my little banners, they look all a little bit different, but again, I like it like that when it comes to watercolors. Yes, that would be too much. I sliced my finger the other day moving stuff in my office. And okay, so now let's dry this. And then I'm going to add the wording on it and then all of the extra stuff. And you could even just put somebody's name on it. It's going to be a little bit hard. I made my candles a little too long. So it might be a little hard to do what I want to do, but we'll see. And I just like to dry it, so I know I'm not going to run my hand through it. Okay, so on here I have "It's Your Birthday," but it's your birthday. I think I can still fit it on here. It's going to be a little tight. So I am going to pencil it out because I don't trust myself otherwise. Do I have a pencil eraser in here? I'm missing one of my erasers. Okay. So I'm going to start with birthday. And in here, I did it all print here. So I'm going to try to kind of maintain the same. So I'm looking here and kind of seeing where I started it. BIRTHDAY. Okay. I just sometimes write it in the air so that I kind of have an idea of how much space that I have. I know y'all can't see this, so just bear with me for a minute. H. And then now I can do this R there. BIRTH. BA. Okay. And it is nice on this watercolor paper. It's textured, so it has like these little dots. So you can almost kind of have an idea if you are, you know, even. And it seems like I did a good job keeping that bottom straight across. But I did a really cruddy job keeping this top straight across. And here's what it looks like here. So the beginning of the word is just a little taller than the end of the word. So I'm just going to kind of erase some of that. Oop, that B is still taller. I usually get bigger as I go, but I was really focused on keeping this line the same that I lost track of the others, the top of the word. I'm not good at keeping things very symmetrical. In Kajabi, Michelle wanted to know, in Kajabi, with all of the lettering challenges you've done, did you by chance load all the previous months you did with all the past templates? You know what, Michelle, I take the old challenges out and put the new challenges in. In the guides in Facebook, the old challenges are in according to months. But in Kajabi, I take them out and replace them. And I haven't done, I haven't done any lettering things with those challenges except for the last 3 months. So there's none of that in there. But if you will go into the Facebook group under guides, those challenges, I believe, are under each month, if that makes sense. So you can find them there. Hey, Leanne. Okay. birthday, and then I'm gonna do your here. And then it's here. And usually I gotta tweak a couple little things here, so I'm gonna don't be afraid to erase and redo and all that. Okay, so there is, I put my lettering on there in pencil just to make sure I got everything right, because definitely makes me a little nervous just to take a marker right to it. I think I'm gonna bring these down just a little bit. I know you can't see what I'm doing. Sorry. I just want to make sure that this is all nice and neat, because, you know, it's a little more pressure when you do this for a living and you send somebody a card, because, you know, everybody's looking at it thinking that, you know, I do this for a living and it's going to be amazing. So I got to make sure that things are looking okay. That's why I don't do a lot of homemade cards, because I feel like, because I do this for a living, like it's a lot of pressure. I mean, I do make cards. Don't listen to me there. But sometimes I have to do this to get everything straight, because my brain does not work. I'm just not real good at keeping everything super symmetrical when it comes to like lettering. That's why I like to do the scripty lettering, because it's just, you know, it can be all uneven and it doesn't matter. Okay. One more thing I want to change and then I'm done, I promise. Then we'll get to the this is why following a template is nice, because if you're like me, then you can just trace on your template and be done with it. It's already lined out and everything is already all good. Okay. I might not put this exclamation point because it's going to run right into that banner. I might just leave the exclamation point off. And then we made that Y a little bit longer. I just remembered. Okay. To match the R. Okay, now I'm done. Now I'm done with my happy birthday, or it's your birthday. Okay, so now I'm going to take, first of all, for the lettering part of it, I'm going to use my Fudinowski pen here. This is my favorite lettering pen. And I'm going to do the lettering, and maybe I'll just zoom in for this part so y'all can see a little bit closer. Ooh, maybe that was too far. Sorry, y'all. Bear with me. Okay. And then let's bring this down a little bit. Okay. Take all of these and move them so that that is not distracting my arm. There we go. Okay. So now I can bring it a little closer. Just want y'all to have the best possible view. That's all. Okay, there we go. All right. Here we go. Okay. Michelle, your cards are amazing, by the way. They are so gorgeous. Yes, our inner demons, exactly. They will get us every time. Okay, and just note that when you are using watercolor paper, it's going to be a little lumpy and bumpy. Just be okay with it and know that it's supposed to look handmade, because it is handmade. If you don't want it to look handmade, just go buy one. I kind of like the bumpiness of it on the watercolor paper too, because it just looks, I don't know, there's something about it just looks so real and authentic. And I mean, if somebody makes you a handmade card, it is really a piece of their artwork, because these take a lot of time. But I think they're so much better and so much prettier. And they mean so much more. So usually with this, now I'm going and kind of making those downstrokes a little bit thicker here. And then I'm going to take the tip of this pen and just kind of run it kind of very gently across these bumpy lines. And it helps kind of just fill in those little cracks. So when I'm writing on the side of the pen like this when I'm writing my letters, but when I want to kind of go up and kind of clean up those edges, I take it like this and I just use the tip of that pen, if that makes sense. And that is how I know that I won't that's how I know I can kind of fill in those little tiny bumps. There's still going to be some, but it definitely helps kind of clean it up a little bit. So I'm on the side of it now. And if you've tried brush lettering, it's a little bit hard. It's definitely its own skill set. But if you don't know how to do brush lettering, you haven't mastered that yet, you can just do this faux calligraphy where you just kind of manually thicken up those lines. So brush lettering would be just, you're kind of doing this. You're controlling the thickness of the letter based on how much pressure you're putting down on your pen. So you push down really hard and kind of use the side of the barrel, and that gives you that thicker line. So you're constantly like pressing hard. And when you go up, you're kind of bringing it up lighter and then pressing hard. Every time you go down, pressing hard. But it takes a lot of getting used to. So if you're just starting out with hand lettering, I do not recommend trying to even worry about brush lettering, because I feel like you need to kind of figure out how to form the letters first. You need to kind of get used to where all the thicker lines are and the thinner lines are. Once you have a good grasp of that, then I think you could kind of move into the brush lettering, because you're having to think about a whole bunch of stuff all at once. And if you are just still struggling with the basics, it's almost like it's a lot to think about. And you can't really do brush lettering too much on a big, like a door hanger or sign anyway. So you know, unless you're doing something little like this, I think faux calligraphy is just the way to go. So see how bumpy it is along that line there, because this is watercolor paper. But then I'm going to take the tip of my pen and just kind of lightly, I'm not even putting any pressure on it at all, and see how much more I can clean that up just by doing that. It really is very, very helpful. Make this just a little thicker here. Sometimes I got to turn my paper to get a good angle. Mm. And then I'm going to go back through and add those serifs to these letters when I'm done. Abby's anxiously watching the clock because she's coming over here at 2 to do some painting. She's been making all kinds of like model clay art for everybody, for birthdays and for Andy for Father's Day. And so she is and then she makes it, dries it, and then comes over here and paints it. So it's been a little busy creative bee this summer, which is awesome. But it is making it a little bit difficult for me to do my job, because she's like wanting to come in here and do all the things, which I want to let her, but I also have to work. So it's been a little challenging. I'm going to go through here and kind of clean these up too a little bit after I'm done. So I can just kind of get the bulk of these letters on here. See how fuzzy they look? You can also clean them up if you want with that skinny micron pen that I'll be using. Or the fine line pen. I have a Tombow one I use too. And you can do that, like all the outlining and stuff with this one. You just have to be careful not to put any pressure on it, but it works really good. Make these a little thicker. Usually my cards are really pretty on the front side, and then you open it up and it's just my sloppy handwriting on the inside. So see how it's all kind of like bumpy and jaggedy? So you could take this and just kind of, I'm going to make this be just a little thicker here. You can take this and just kind of touch it up like I was showing you. Or you could also just use like a fine line. Tombow makes them, Micron makes them. You could also use this to kind of like clean up those lines. We'll see which one's easier. I don't know. I think this one is going to be easier for me. I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'll add the serifs. It's still going to be a little bit textured-y looking, but I'm just kind of trying to clean it up just a little bit. Mm. Oh, I should have used my glaze pen. That would have been really good too. My black glazy pen. Didn't think about it. I forget sometimes about the things that I have. The black glaze pen would have worked good on this texture watercolor paper. Duh. You really got to look at doing stuff like this as just doing art instead of just making a card, writing a card, you know? Okay. And then I'm going to add these little serifs here. Like that. Ta-da. I know. I love. Okay, so Juanita has handmade. Oh, Marisa says the handmade comes from the heart. Um, yes. If you want perfect, go buy it, Chris. Juanita has this cute little saying that she puts on the back of her cards, and it says, "Handmade with." What does it say, Juanita? Handmade with love, not perfection. I love that. And I love writing that on the back of the cards because it's just a reminder like, listen, like, it's handmade. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to be handmade, like, and I feel like, so when one day when we are gone, those that we gave handmade cards to, they're going to have a piece of our art. If they keep the cards, it's not just a card, they're going to have a piece of our artwork. So it's kind of like you don't necessarily have to make somebody signs and things like that for them to keep and have of your art. A handmade card is also your art, and it's just like compact. They can save it, they have it forever. I just think it's just kind of a really nice way for people to really, for your kids to be able to have a piece of you. Okay, so I'm going to take this micron. This is a 0.5 here, and I'm just going to take it, make sure it's still working. Some of mine are kind of starting to get dried out. I like to use a 0.5 or a 0.3 for this part because I want it really thin. I don't want it super thick. And so I just take it and I outline it twice. And I want it kind of a little messy looking like that. And I'm not just saying that. Like, that's how I like it. But it's nice and thin. I go over it twice. I want to make sure that my lines, I'm not going over the same line twice. It's just kind of like just that like messy, just messy art, just messy outlining. Let me see if this one is working. This one is working a little bit better. This is my Tombow one. It's the same. It's 0.5, but that one I think is just kind of getting older and drying out a little bit. So I'm just going to take it, outline it once, and then I outline it twice. Just try to make sure I don't go over my same lines. Do that one so it matches. And so this was kind of the hardest part for me, is just intentionally trying to be messy, because, you know, you spend so much time just trying for it all to look nice and neat. And then it's like, oh, I gotta try to be messy, but there's something really fun in doing it this way. Like it's just like you're allowing yourself to just not just let those guards down and just be messy with it and play. And I love the way that it turns out when it's like this. It's kind of like a sketchy look. It's instead of outlining it, it's just almost makes it look like you're sketching it, like you're drawing it. And it's just my favorite thing to do with watercolor. So you see how all of that is just messy, but it's just kind of, I don't know. I like the look of it. And we can do little on our card, on our candles, which I will do. I'm just going to do these first. I'm going to do this so I don't run my hand over that part of it. Okay. And you want to kind of go inside or outside, you know, not just perfectly outlining it, but kind of going to the inside a little bit or to the outside a little bit. So it's just a little bit off if you want this look. Do that one again there. And that one again there. So again, see how messy that is. It's just fun because it just feels like you don't have to be so perfect with it, you know? Okay, in this, I had a few extra strings, if you will. So I want to do that. And then do one more here. How cute. You could pop some glitter on there. I can't wait to do that. Okay, so now I'm going to decorate these candles just a bit. I'm also going to add this. Just this little line kind of makes a cute little difference on those candles. Look how cute that is. We're just going to, obviously, if you all saw my Procreate class, I'm not being as particular with the angles, but it's different when I'm making a template versus when I'm just making a handmade card, right? Like when I'm making a template, I'm making it for other people to follow. So I want to kind of make sure that things are a little neater. But on here, I'm just having fun with it. This is so cute. This is really turning out cute. Wait till I add the glitter pins. So cute. I love it. I love it. Okay. So now I can also add some like little confetti, which I forgot to do with my watercolors, but well, no. I was gonna say I could just do it with a marker, but that might be a little bit darker than, you know what I can do? I can do it with my glitter pen. So I'm gonna use gold. This daughter loves gold. My other one loves silver, and Abby loves both. But I'm going to take this glitter sparkle pop pen here. I know, doesn't it make such a difference when you outline it? It's just like super, like it just like sets everything into place. So I'm going to take this glitter pop pen and just kind of, this is going to make, wait till you see this, Heather. I'm just outlining like these little flames. And sometimes the glitter does not show up well on camera, but I'll try to show you close up what a difference it makes. It just adds that extra touch. So if you, let's see if I can get it angled right where you can tell that it's sparkly. Let me get it where the light hits it. Just so, oh, there we go. See, it just kind of, it just, I don't know, it just does something, you know? So I'm going to put it there, but I'm also going to just put it here over all these lines. This might be one of my favorite birthday cards that I've ever made. And I really feel like it's fairly simple. And another good thing is that if you use your pencil to pencil anything on first, once you get your black marker to trace over, even if you didn't like go over all your pencil lines, you almost don't see it because it's kind of hidden, you know, with those sketchy lines. Hey, Sandy. So you don't see it as much. Look how cute that is. So cute. And then now I'm going to do it here on these banners. So, you know, you could wait till everything dried and then go back and erase your pencil lines, but also they might just blend in. Okay. Yeah. And you can run this through the lettering too. Wait until that dries a bit. This is a gel glitter gel pen, so it takes a little bit of time to, you know, dry. Thanks, Sandy. So I just used the template that we made the other night in the Happy Lettering Club and just use that same format. Isn't that fun? And I always just kind of just try to do that rather than don't do that to check to see if it's dry. Just I'll run this through the letters. And that also kind of helps camouflage if things aren't perfect. Just running a little bit of gold through there, or you could do silver. It just kind of, I don't know, just makes it pretty. It's like glitter just kind of hides all the imperfections. It's like jewelry for your design. My daughter's probably going to see this video before I even mail her the card, but that's okay. Okay, so you can see how I just added that right through the middle of those words and just how it just kind of makes it shimmer. Okay, can't decide if I want to put confetti on here or not. Maybe just a couple little confetti pieces. What do y'all think? I always want to say no, but then sometimes when I do it, it looks better. So let's give it a try. I'm going to do some random. Let's do a little pink. Pink. I know y'all can't see that very well, can you? And let's do a little orange. Orange there. And do a Scotia green. Ugh, that green's super wet. You get water that's like super tall and super like wet. Sometimes I will take my paper towel, and if you just kind of barely touch it, it sucks up into the paper towel. It's a crazy thing it does, but let's see. Okay, so you can kind of see like a little bit of confetti in the background. It's not super dark, but it's there. I don't know that I'm not gonna outline it in black because I almost just want it to be a little bit faint in the background. But if you made this card for somebody, another thing you could do was take it and do on the inside, like where you're gonna write. You could kind of put like some like little sprinkles or confetti, whatever you want to call it, all over, just very faint and not outline it or anything. And then do your writing on the card. That way you're like carrying this design into the inside of the card. So I think it just kind of will help kind of bring that design in a little bit. So I'm going to add a little bit. Marisa said add some gold to them. So let's add a little bit of gold. So let me dry this confetti real quick, and I'm going to add a little gold to it, and then we are going to be done. I need to make and procreate a little made with love, not perfection stamp. I need to make a little stamp that says that. Okay, so let's just add. This is so cute. Love it. Okay, so that's the little confetti, or yeah, confetti with the gold on top of it. So what do y'all think? Isn't that cute? Such a cute birthday card. She's gonna love this. And you could even bend it here. You could even put the person's name like right here, and like the year right here. That would be another cute little thing to do. So I'm going to take a picture of this. I will also post this in the Happy Lettering Club for those of you that you know, you helped me make this template here, and then we carried it onto the card here. So I'll post it in there. I know, I do too, Michelle. Like, this is probably one of my favorite projects that I've done in a long time. Marisa said, can I be an adopted daughter and receive a birthday card from you? I need to get y'all's birthdays and make cards for you, but then I might be making cards forever. But yeah, this is so cute. Yeah, Yeah, if you're in Procreate, Juanita, make a little stamp. That would be super cute. Because that would be really cute to just kind of put right here in the middle on the back. Isn't that so cute? I love it. Okay. Well, this was fun. I'm excited. I'm excited to give her this, and I feel like I want to make more. Like, you know, but this is what we will be doing in the Happy Lettering Club on Tuesday. We're going to be doing this on a big banner. So we're going to make a big craft banner. I got my like summer clothes on here, so I had to put a jacket on. So we're going to be making a big craft banner next week. So that will be fun. I haven't put the template in Kajabi yet, but I'm going to do that this afternoon, Sandy. So I'm going to shrink this down and make a card with it and put it in the template library also. So if you needed to trace it with a graphite paper, you could just print it off and it would be the size of your, half paper. You could just trace the lettering or whatever if you wanted to do that. So you'll get it like this. You'll get it in a card, 5x7 card size, and then you'll also get it for a big banner. So I can't wait to make this with y'all next week. Okay, well, I hope you guys have a good rest of your Wednesday. I'm going to finish cleaning up my office because got some new shelves and it is an absolute disaster in here. Abby's going to come in here and do some painting, and I don't know what else. Oh, I'm going to make the banners. I'm going to make the templates and put those in, and we'll see where I land after that. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Deb. I know I need to let Abby come in here now. I told her when my video was done. I told her it'd be around 2. And I am gonna have Abby teach the Happy Lettering Club a Procreate lesson soon. She keeps nagging me for it, so I'm gonna have her do that soon. Okay, well, you guys have a good rest of your day, and thank you for hanging out with me. And I will see you later.